Hey guys, Matt Lemke here with 3Gamer Goggles, gamer-goggles.com. Today we're going to talk about Star Wars Legion. Well, we're going to open it up and take a look at what's inside. Alright, let's waste no time. For those of you who might be new to my box breakings, they're basically an unboxing. Many years ago I just decided that it'd be really cool if I branded my own name, right? Yeah, that's turns out it was kind of a silly idea, but it's kind of like too late to go back and call them unboxings. Anyway, I have never seen the contents. I've seen some pictures of the product and things like that, but I've never seen what's inside this box yet. So this is my first experience, just like hopefully yours. Inside you get the winter catalog, which I'll probably take a look at in time. You get the Learn to Play rulebook, which looks a little bit meaty. It's about 32 pages. You get a ton of little punch outs. I like the fact that they're actually wrapped. That's kind of cool. Oh, look at that. Dials. You get dials. Oh, that's a big dial. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe that's a turn counter because I only see one. The dice. Oh, it's a D8 and a D6 game. Alright, we'll start going through some of this stuff here in a minute. Well, actually, I'll kind of set the stuff aside to keep it together. And, yep, I'll set it over here, out of the way. So, we're going to start with this first. This should be the one of the things that's not really too much of a surprise to you. There's a whole bunch of barriers. They're a soft PVC. They've got a good amount of detail. Where did I put my remote control? So we can zoom in a little bit. You know, they're all the same pretty much. Actually, they are identical. I'm not sure what some of that is from. It looks like they were sanded, buffed. They might have stuck in the mold a little bit. Or maybe that's, you know, I think that'll paint it. The difference in the gloss is probably going to make them paint differently. So I'm curious. I'll put those back in the box and grab the next one. Curious to see how those turn out. Okay, so these must be like the different rulers. I am not going to snap them together yet because I really don't know what they're for. I'm going to wait until I see it in the box. If I snap that in there, it's hinged, and I don't want to take the chance of popping it back out. So I'll set that aside. I'll put that back in the bag, actually. So all those parts are together. There's another one here. These might be like different wall pieces of terrain. I don't really know yet. Like, this clearly goes in there like that. It looks like it's a wall piece or the top of a wall piece, but I don't want to get too carried away. Detail is fine and simple. It's easy to brush these up and put some color on them. Now we're getting into some of the meat here. And these are the models, and surprisingly, there's a lot of pieces to the models. Ooh, wow, I can't wait to do a figure forge on this guy. I don't see any instructions. Maybe the instructions are in the book. We'll look at that in a minute. But as you can see, the model has 3 weapon loadouts. We'll zoom out just a hair. Or we'll just move stuff up. 3 weapon loadouts. The little protective case that goes on the model itself, which I'm not going to try and mess with it. I'm going to call them shock absorbers for now. The antennae, or the antenna array, and the legs. So put that away. Next week maybe you'll see me assemble it, show you how easy it is. We'll find out if the weapon systems are magnetic, or if you can magnetize the weapon systems. It looks like they got a deep slot, so maybe not. Next up we have speeder bikes. They look like they go together fairly easy. There's half a dozen pieces here. And if there's no instructions, I could do figure forges on these as well. Pull this back down here a little bit so you can see all the pieces that come with it. For those of you that are like, oh my gosh, I have to put these together, hey, don't be alarmed, don't be afraid. I'm going to do assembly videos on them, and you can tell me which ones you want to see first, and then I will go from there. And as long as I have the ability to buy those models or get my hands on them somehow, I will. You know what? I just noticed something. And, yep, that is what I noticed. So the bases, I mean, they're a little bit thicker than your standard 25mm base. They're taller and stuff. But there's no slots or pegs. I personally am a fan of that. If you are a board gamer, you might not be as interested in that as you want to be. Now, okay, so we have Darth Vader here. I'm going to pull these off screen real quick and put them up here. So you have Darth Vader and Darth Vader's lightsaber. You have looks like Luke. This guy must be a jet bike pilot, or maybe not. Those are jet bike arms for sure. And that is a weapon that you can add on. So that is one of the bags, and I don't know the rhyme or reason as to how some of these models are put in here, other than the fact that Darth Vader really stood out. Alright, a lot of minis in there. Here's for the jet bikes. Here's two clear plastic stands. Here we have. Oh, wait a minute. What the heck is that guy? That guy's arm to then? Interesting. So here is two of the. These have got to be the way they're sitting. They've got to be the guys that ride the jet bikes, right? This guy's firing off the back. His head's here. His arm is here. Oops, nope, that's not his arm. That's his arm. And that would be his other arm, and this would be this guy's arm. Or something of the sort. Little packs. And the detail on these guys is pretty good. For those of you that are like, man, they're not painted, these are actually really easy paint jobs. I mean, to get them to the point where they look better on the table a little bit, you know, things like that. I mean, I know some people are going to go absolutely hog wild painting these because they're Star Wars fans, and it's their opportunity to go ahead and paint Star Wars figures, right? So we have a lot of bags of minis in this big bag. They're broken down, it looks like, into twos. I guess I'm not going to go through all of these maybe, because there's a lot of opening and pieces, but here's a couple of Stormtroopers. And I'm going to keep them together. I'm going to slide them off screen with their bag. Let's take a closer look at the Stormtrooper. So one thing that's cool and makes it easy for people to assemble models is the fact that they have, this is what we in the miniature world call a three-point connection. You have two shoulders, one gun glued to it, and then the other shoulder, if these were on a sprue and you had to cut them off yourself, these would all be separate pieces. So what Fantasy Flight has done is they've gone ahead and made it so all you got to do is spread the arms a little bit and pop them in. The good thing about three-point connections is there's a lot of posability. He can be at ease, he can be up, he could be escorting prisoners. And the way they've actually made it, you don't need to glue these pieces that like this. I highly recommend you do. You pick where you want the weapon and you glue it. Another box, this time of the Rebels. And they have, these guys have heavy weapons. The detail on the heavy weapons is pretty cool. That's as far as I can go. Even the detail on the figs, you can tell, is really good. And they have done what I like to call dumbifying, or make them stupid proof. The slot here is going to go, I mean, clearly you can't, this backpack can't go on backwards, right? That's brilliant. So for those of you that are like, now, for those of you, oh, it went on. It went on. I thought that maybe that burr was going to prevent it from going together, but it didn't. Another set of stormtroopers. They're identical, so I'm just going to set them aside. And then here's some heavy weapon stormtroopers, or special weapons, depends on what they're called in the book. I haven't looked at the rules yet. Again, the detail is solid. That might be part of a comm piece. Let's look at this guy. Yeah, it's part of the helmet. I thought maybe it was a piece of plastic spur there. Let me get something to point at. Oh, scalpel. I'll point with a paintbrush. So right there, I thought that was actually a piece of bad plastic. Their legs, they've got their backup blaster. And, well, in this case, these are heavy weapons. At least that's what I would call them. I would definitely call them heavy weapons. Again, well detailed. Again, these models are not going to be hard to paint. If you just want to do a dry brush technique, you can just use a dry brush technique and make them look good. I'll do a couple different things. I'll fully paint some figures. A couple more stormtroopers. Here's a rebel troop. There's probably a lot of repeats of the rebel troop, so I will go ahead and just show you again. They've got the 3-point connection. You just pop it on there and glue it the way you want it glued. This guy has a beard. This guy has a beard. Maybe all the rebels in the base set are going to have beards. I don't know. Slide those off camera real quick. A couple more rebels, I think. Pop a head on one of these guys real quick. There you go. So you can see his head. Now the advantage to this, for those of you that want to be diehard painters, is you can paint his head on something you can hold. Like you can use a piece of sticky tack, put his head on there like that, and get a lot more angle on it before you put the model together. I will most likely put the models together before I paint them because, well, that's what I like to do. I get lambasted a lot for that. I'm going to put these two guys back in their bag. Those are regular troops. Oops, his head popped off. Oh, his head popped off. We have, oh, these are different stormtroopers. These aren't the guys, these are like commander types because they've got the little shoulder pad. So they don't have a 3-point. In fact, when they don't have 3-point, it looks like their models always have the arm on. And again, I mean, it's going to be hard to make a mistake with these guys because of the way they do the arms. You can see that. Now, sometimes when they do the arms like this, there, that went in just fine. You know, when they're what I call dummy proof, is they have a slot like that, and a lot of miniature games are going this route, so you can put together models fast. Few companies do it better than Cool Mini or Not does. They have a 2-player starter that doesn't have nearly as many minis as this. That I put together in literally 12 minutes. Both factions. And it's about 15 minis. So that should tell you something about that. 2 more Rebels. I'm not going to pull all these out. I want to kind of keep them together in case there are things that, you know, I don't want to mix up too many pieces. There's 2 more Stormtroopers. I think there's 33 miniatures in all. I don't think that counts the terrain. I really don't. 2 more Rebels, so that's like 6 or 8 Rebels already. Those guys are different. So here's 2 more Rebels. These guys are a little different. I think these guys have like sniperish rifles and rifles. So we'll take a look at them. So here you go. This Rebel, and then you would slide it in. They have a different pose. So we'll take a look at them. Again, the detail is really good. there's a lot of detail on these models, and as you can see, there's a lot of like folds and ripples. These are really great models for learning how to paint. So if you're a role player and you're like, I want to play this Star Wars thing, or if you want to buy these for your Star Wars miniatures, or your Star Wars miniatures game, this is the miniatures game, or for the Star Wars RPG, they're not hard to paint. You base coat them, you do a wash and then let it dry, and you dry brush it, or if you want to get into wet blending, you wet blend it, or you can base coat it and then just dry brush all the way up. It takes a little bit of time because things need to dry. And here we have some different stormtroopers. These guys are bad to the bone. And they have special weapon, or I should call it the machine gun for now. It is a special weapon. You get 2 of these guys. They're pretty well detailed. They have their backup blaster there, and they have their munitions pack. We'll take a look at it. And actually, you know, oh my gosh, you're like, the stormtroopers are going to be so hard to paint. They're not painted. They're actually super easy to paint. You can base coat black, base coat white. I'm not a fan of base coating white. I have, probably because I'm not that good of a painter and I don't have that kind of skill set. I would rather go with brown, and then this obviously, oh wow. Oh, okay, there it is. These are like your captains, or you know, your sergeants or your commanders for the rebel side, and that goes in there, and the binoculars go on the other side. Something like that. So when he's put together, he's going to look something like that. And I'll put these guys back in the bag. And I will do assemblies. I got videos on you just to show you guys this week how easy these pieces can go together. I'm going to go ahead and put these back in the bag real quick. I'll probably cut this part out because this might take... we'll look at the bases here real quick. I don't know. I saw something that is interesting. I'm not sure what's going to go on here. Obviously, though, it's real nice that they separated the different zones, like the different firing arcs. They did that on these. These are clearly the vehicle bases. They did not do that on the figure bases. And I'm going to guess that the Rebels get the black and the Empire, or the Legion, gets the terracotta bases. And we'll do stuff like, you know, we'll do this, like, okay, make it if we want to make it a woodsy thing, I'll teach you guys how to do some simple techniques. That's really too big for that base, but like maybe a quarter of that is good. Alright, there's some cards in here. Put the bases back in the box. So what do the cards do? I really have no idea. So we're just going to flip through them real quick. These must be some kind of a deck. This is ambush. There's a couple ambushes. There's, zoom out just a little bit. There's push, assault. So these must be how you control your actions for the turn or something. We'll get into that, like, hopefully by the end of the week. I hope to be able to do a demo. Master of Evil, Darth Vader, and 2 units. So, Son of Skywalker. Interesting. Oh, you know what? No, those are all the same. What are these? We'll look at those in a second. So there's at least 3 different types of cards. The backs are different. And some of them, like this is clear conditions, this card has no effect. I don't know what that. How about hostile environment? Trooper units whose unit leader is not in base contact with a piece of terrain cannot move suppression tokens until the end phase. Interesting. So there's certain types of game conditions that can affect the game. And these are obviously like character cards. So we have Luke Skywalker, we have the Rebel Troopers, more troopers. The at RT. We'll take a real quick look at the rules here too, or maybe I'll do a separate video just on the rule book. There we go. Stormtroopers again, or first time Stormtroopers, and the speeder bikes. And on the other side is the speeder bike again, but it explains like fixed front, tells you more about it in detail. And then these cards, I don't know what these are yet. Oh, I get it. They're for the two different factions. You got the red and you got the blue. And I bet that is the same back. Well, it's not the same back. Interesting. So I don't know. Rules are good. And we'll find out in a minute. But now, hey, look at this. They've got these. They got these cool things. These really small cards. Can you see that? Let's zoom in a little bit. So these are like your add-ons. If you play X-Wing, they have little upgrade cards. So you have Stormtrooper, add one Stormtrooper mini. Rebel Trooper, probably the same thing, right? You have a DLT-19, so you can add the DLT Stormtrooper mini to a unit. You have an HH-12. Well, I don't know what Impact 3 is yet, but it's got to be a little bit better. He has the, this is the heavy weapon troop who has Impact 3. And then we have the Z6 Trooper, that's their heavy weapon, and one Z6 Trooper mini to the unit. You have the Ion Trooper, Ion Cannon. You have the at RT Rotary Blaster. Oh, so it's an upgrade. Or the the ATRT only upgrade. We also have a laser cannon. We have the flamethrower, which I kind of like flamethrowers. They tend to be brutal in miniature games. We will see what they do in Star Wars. Or I should, yeah, in Legion. We have a Jedi Mind Trick, which is an upgrade for light side only. We have dark side only upgrade. We have Force Push. That's like right out of the video games and many other things like the movies. Force Push again. Force Reflexes, dodge tokens. Interesting. Battle Meditation. When you issue orders, once one of those orders can be issued to any friendly unit in the battlefield. That's probably pretty good, and it's worth 10 points. So it's not as good as Force Reflexes. It's 15. It's interesting to see how this is going to... Wow, that means, you know, with the customization in the starter, there's going to be a lot of replayability and different types of forces you can build just right out of the starter. Concussion grenades, those are upgrades. Obviously, we have targeting scopes. You can upgrade things and increase your accuracy. And we have a long-range comlink. Interesting. So, inside Star Wars Legion, you get a massive amount of stuff, really, for $90. You get, I believe the box said 33 miniatures, which is really insane for those of you that don't play miniatures games. Most miniatures games charge you somewhere between $2 and $5 a mini, so getting 33 minis for $90 plus all the extra components to play the game, the cards and stuff, it's really pretty amazing. The dice, they're all special dice, which we didn't look at. Let me set that aside here real quick. The dice. They're all special faced dice. We'll look at the D8 and a D6. Well, we'll look at a white one too. Why not? Just in case there's differences on the die. I don't think there is. There is a, like, I'm going to call it a turn counter for now. Here's the little clip thing for it. So, the dice. We have the hits, just like you get out of X-Wing. Special symbol there. Blanks. Same thing here. You have these triangles, and you have the triangle with the logo in it for the specialties. So, real quick, let's roll. I don't know what I did yet, but I did something. All right. I'm really excited about this. Push that down in there. And there's a lot more work to it than I thought there was going to be. I really did not anticipate having a Star Wars Legion game from Fantasy Flight where you were going to have to assemble the models. I'm actually really, really happy about that. And that might sound like a freakish kind of thing, but I am very happy about that. And, well, real quick, I'll stop this video. I'll do another video just to do a flip through on the quick start learn to play rules. Alright, so bye guys. Thanks for watching. Sorry this is a little bit longer than most of my box breakings, but there's a lot of stuff to look at in Star Wars Legion.